I'm the Frugal Chef. Let's make some maple roasted squash today. I love making this for Thanksgiving. It's delish. Let me show you how. For the roasted squash, we're going to use an acorn squash, a butternut squash, and a delicatta. I love delicatta squash. You can't always find it, you know. It's only available at this time of the year, at least in my area, and it's very, very nice. It's very delicate, as the name suggests, and it's a very, very nice squash, okay? Now, don't get hung up on this. If you don't have, you know, 3 different squashes, you only want to use one, that's perfectly fine for this recipe as well, okay? But let me tell you, I'm going to peel and dice the butternuts. I'm going to cut the acorn into wedges, and I'm just going to leave the skin on, okay? I'm not going to peel it. And then the delicatta I will peel, and I'm going to cut it into little rounds. So I'm going to have a nice variety of shapes that are going to roast. And I'll show you how we'll make the sauce and all that in a minute. So I'll be back as soon as I get all of this ready. Alright, so I have my delicatta cut into rings. Of course I seeded it, you know. I cut the acorn into wedges, left the skin on them, okay. And then I diced my butternut squash, alright. So to this, I'm going to add a combination of olive oil and maple syrup. Now, ideally, you will use pure maple syrup. If you don't have it, that's fine, okay? Just use the maple syrup you have in your fridge. This is a 1/4 cup of olive oil with a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. Okay, to this, I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of sage and 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme, okay? I'm just gonna add that, whisk it, mix it well there with my maple syrup, and then what I'm gonna do is I want to coat every single one of these pieces of squash with the maple syrup, okay? I'm also going to, I'll mix this in a minute, but I do want to season with salt and pepper. Okay, so now I'm just going to make sure that I coat all of the squash well with the maple syrup and the oil that, of course, went all the way down to the bowl. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in a roasting pan, and I'm going to roast them at 400 for about 40 minutes, okay? I will check them around 30 minutes to see how they're doing. Of course, I don't want to burn them. Everybody's oven is different, so I suggest you do the same thing. And just one word of caution with roasting. Don't pile up your vegetables in your roasting pan. Okay, make sure that they're in a single layer so that they don't start steaming inside your oven. You don't want them to steam, you want to roast them. You want them to have a nice brown color when they come out, okay? This squash is so, so, so amazingly pretty. It smells ridiculous. It's really, really good. Okay, so I want you to plate it so that people can, you know, appreciate your different shapes here. Your wedges and your little donuts and your little diced squash. So the next thing I want you to do, once you've got it ready, I just want you to drizzle a tiny bit of cream on here. And this is optional, but it adds a nice little touch to it. Okay, that's all I want, a little drizzle. Here you go, my friends. Bon appetit from thefrugalchef.com. Make sure you come and visit us. We have all kinds of recipes that are not in video form. I will see you soon, and eat well without going broke.